Okay. All right, all right, all right. I just want to see something quick. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to June. Welcome to June 3rd, 2024. We are here for markets open. Looks like it wants to make new highs. Constantly making new highs. Opening range short could come in. I would like price to be up closer to 735. So somewhere in here. Okay, I guess that magnet actually does work sometimes. There we go. All right, NVIDIA looking like it wants to gap up, continue to rally. I want to see what happens with these levels there. Get set up my quant tower. Make sure that works fine. Get my delta out there. The Russell's curling back down. That's interesting. That's gotta be. I guess that's right. 820. Yeah. Let's see what GameStop does on the open. I'm interested in that, but I'll look at that on an ancillary basis. I'm gonna set these levels for this as well. So 830 was here. Previous day high is here. Close is somewhere in this range right there. 15 hundo. I think we settled around that level right there. You can see these levels really acting like a key magnet there. Ready. This is, I haven't played with these levels in a while, so. Overnight low is here, overnight high. think settlement's down here at 91. I like to have the reference points on all of the charts. This one is really something that I don't have set up perfectly. So we will, I don't know where the overnight high is. It's gone. It's disappeared. But we could do this. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. We are looking to see, I mean, we did get a nice little pump there on the delta on this pop to the high side. So very interesting on that level there. I'm going to be interested into this, up into this purple zone here. Obviously this is the overnight high currently that we're making, pre-market highs, opening right on it. Hopefully everybody can see that we have been pushing upside. I did draw the write-up. If you wanted to check out my quick write-up from last night, it is linked in the alerts and in the chat. If you're on YouTube, it's in the video description. Let me know if I'm lagging at all or anything like that, because I do want to make sure that everything is smooth. I have like a weird connection to my headphones here. It sounds like things are jumping around a little bit, so it's my concern that the video is a little bit jumpy, but just let me know if you notice it at all, and I'll try and make adjustments. It says we got good connection, we said we're good, we got the right screens up, we're ready to go. We are copy trading 4 accounts. We're about 500 away from regaining this XFA. I'm going to, once I hit off on that here, I'll switch up the leader account and stuff like that. If we're in a good trade, maybe I'll let it move and run and then just secure 500 and just let the other accounts make more, because I could technically make up to 1,500 on it again. So it's not a terrible idea to let a trade move in my direction, right? Put that down to 2. Put that up to 2. Opening range trade here could be a good one. Opening up on the highs, the overnight highs. We do have some resistance here up at 717. So that is right where we're at, basically up into the bottom end of this purple zone. It would be nice to see a little bit of a whippy action upside first and then fail this overnight high, which is this pre-market high. I will use that as that level. It's not really precise around here, so we will wait for a little bit of a setup and then come around and see if we can take that. Like I said, opening range type breakdown once again. We'll see. We're going to be open here in about a minute. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And we are open. Let's see where this opening range takes us. Pop up until like a 35 into there. I will look to short this opening range if it leaves the opening range at the high. But it's kind of whippy right now. I don't see what's going on with GameStop. It's opened at $39.80. I don't see any crazy action on it right now. Let this opening range develop. Could take it right off the jump. Could also wait for the failure of this trend line here, but oh yeah. Damn you. Pop back up and I'll take the short. Opening range is currently looking at about a 78 tick opening range, which is nice. Not terrible. I'll stop sell 2. Below that. Oh, that was a quick in and out. I want to get those off the screen because that's kind of annoying. Would like to get this to pop up first. Did not want to take that right away. I need to get these off the screen, but I'm waiting. What are those? Charts? High chart plots, save? Is that? There we go. Nope, that's not it. I don't know what it is then. All right, back up to that overnight high. See if we can get this to short. I'm kind of lagging a little bit, I think. Do we get a delta divergence? We got a little bit of a pop-up, delta not popping as well, so that is a good indication here. I will look to say we will take that through that overnight low. As I mentioned, like up into that 35 is interesting, 17 to 35, so we are right there. Do have some resistance up to 39, so there's the pop. I took a quick little loss there on that, trying to catch the short quick. I don't know if I'm lagging or not because it's very choppy on my screen. Delta did act that way. You see that really long wick up over that opening range high. See if we can now come down and flush our level. $687 is going to be an interesting target to start us. GameStop selling off a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on with my internet right now. Better video quality. Hopefully that works out. Let's see. There's the opening range break again. See if it holds or fails with a good delta push. If we get a nice little pop down below this level, we should rotate down. It's a nice failure of that high there. Russell is really pushing downside. It's pushed right into some support though, so let's see if it'll crack down lower. Nasdaq's kind of diverging a bit. It is seemingly pushing up when everything else is pushing downside. GameStop, Nvidia is pushing up, so that is kind of probably what's helping us out here. To the high side, Microsoft selling off, Apple kind of doing its thing. See what Nvidia does for the time being. Pushed up into resistance from Thursday. So Nvidia kind of giving us a resistance area. Let's see if we can catch a little piece of this push down. I don't want this. I want that to be a limit by 1. So we are short right here again through our not opening range, our overnight low. We're risking 300, which is just over that overnight high. Overnight high, I say low, overnight high. Pushing down now through opening range. So we're up 3 on this. Going to go to even on it and see if we can get to break through the lows. Looks like it doesn't want to go. If it is going to go, it should go right this second. Now we're out at break even. I'm getting a little bit of chop on my internet. I think I need to definitely clean this up a bit. Let me see what it looks like on Quant Tower. A little choppy. Price is not so smooth for me right now, which is usually an internet issue. So if I am, like I said, if I'm chopping around a little bit on the screen, let me know. If you can't hear me, can't see me, or anything like that, please keep that in mind. Let me know what I'm got going on. I'm down a little bit on this. I should have probably held that a little bit more, but I'm getting a little bit of a whippy action right now. So if it goes back up in that area again, I will look to see what happens at this overnight high. Over this opening range high, I will look to short this area one more time through the overnight high. With the Russell pushing down heavy, S&P is also pushing heavier. NVIDIA is the only thing that's propping this up, so I will look to set my profit to 1,000. And I'll set this to be take one off at the lower end of that. It's 701. Just to get myself one off. If it does come down through our level, if it doesn't, then we're going to continue to rally up. Like I said, in my write-up, kind of that open up above 632, giving us a bullish sentiment. Then also opening above 687, 6700. So we are pushing higher. If the NQ is going to be the leader, we'll find out. Because it's diverged. Everything else is selling off. Microsoft did catch a little bit of a bid down here at 414. Closed the gap of the pre-market session. Looking to push down to 412 though. NVIDIA. Let's see. Delta. There's a divergence there a little bit, right? You could see price made new highs, still trying to make new highs. Delta is not playing along, right? Delta is here making a lower high while we're making higher highs on price up there. So one of these is going to break. Which one is it going to be? Is it going to be Delta trying to catch up to price, or is it going to be price trying to catch up to Delta? That's my thought process on this, right? If you are risky, you could risk up here, 255, down to these lows, opening range high down to opening range low, if that's the strategy that you're going to play. I'm going to wait for that opening overnight high to break down, give me a little bit more confirmation. Like, as you can see, right? Like, the aggressive buyers are not quite stepping up as much as the price is here. You get the value area high here. We did hold that opening range low twice. We will watch to see how it develops over the 15-minute opening range. It's 739. So yeah, 739 is up here, 40. So it could wick off that high there. S&Ps did not get anywhere near its overnight high. NVIDIA is still holding up above highs. We wicked down, bounced on the Russell from 2087, but it is holding below the opening range low. 9 o'clock, we do have a ISM number. Okay. Like I said, I'll take that quick little buy, take one off, and then see if we can run it down any further. If we come into this support area here, this trend line that's been kind of developed over the pre-market session, then see if we get a reaction around it and then flush further. That would be the goal. Yeah, there's not like huge number at 845. Global manufacturing at 845. 9 o'clock is the red folder number. I have this here. If it wants to flush and get me out, I'll take one off anyway, because it should whip all the way down if it is going to fail. We are wedging a bit here at the highs. NVIDIA is starting to curl a little bit. breaking highs again. Delta still didn't make a new high, right? Although it's less diverged, right? You can still see the aggressive buyers aren't quite playing along with this level. I think 39 is still an important key level. But I'm not going to start chasing shorts, right? $8.42. Yeah, so we got 3 minutes till that number. If we're so far away from our zone, then we're not going to even bother looking at it right now. I did mention that the bulls probably step in today, this week, and just kind of push us up continuously. I took that quick loss. I think I should have been more able to get to break even on it because of my internet connection weirdness. I think it's kind of faltering a bit. I'm going to try and refresh this, see if it's going to help. We got 3 minutes till that number comes out. Let's see if it comes out in any sort of way that, whips the algos to the downside. Like I said, I still have my order here because I do think if we flushed this overnight high, we could get down. But I'm going to get rid of these for now, and then I'll see. I could re-enter when the time comes. First trade of the week, chopped up a little bit. I took that quick short, and then it ripped right off, and then I really wanted to get this down here. It was up to make ourselves back to even, and I only took off $70 of that, but it's fine. Just trying to kind of mitigate, because if it was going to start to roll over, I was going to take that a little bit further downside. But right now we're pushing. I did mention that 39 up into 59 is that key zone above us. So this right here, here we are, pushing back down on that failure there. S&Ps ran right into their overnight high and failed it. See if we can do anything with that. If we do come down here, I'll sell one. Number will be on a second here. See, Delta never quite made it to be good here. If it melts off on this number, then we're going to be very interested. And if it pops, I didn't get anything really, but it's dancing. Coming in a little hot. 51.3. It is inflationary. A number is, anything over 50 is more inflationary. Nothing to do for me here. Nvidia dancing around. What's GME doing since I'm kind of away from this? GME's rolling over really nice. All these people that got in long overnight decided to take their profits. Nvidia still pushing, looking to hold the pre-market highs and rotate higher. Microsoft popping up to the 416.50 level and running into a little bit of overhead resistance there. Apple's been doing nothing but its own thing, so it's pushing up closer to the 194.48 and 194.50. NVIDIA. All right. Kind of going to watch some of these other levels here, see what we get on a delta push. Maybe we push up into this second band of VWAP and start to rotate down. So that number didn't really do much. I didn't see a huge algo spike or rip or run or anything like that, but we do have the other numbers coming out 9. Russell is just absolutely rolling over. It's pushing down, straight down since 7:30. Well, since, yeah, pretty much 6:45. I think this is going to sell off here. Meta pushing straight up. Amazon wicking highs and rolling a little bit. And we got Google. Google also popped up and is selling. Microsoft looking like it wants to sell. NVIDIA not pushing as hard to the high side again. So we should see probably a little bit of selling come in here. Like I said, up into that 57, right there. We hit up 56. 39 to 57 was my zone there. If you want to go see it on this chart right here, this chart's showing us that 39 to 57 zone. This is why I say that. Look at this chop we had there, right? We have up this is where that sell initiated prior. A lot of this happens to be if we do a breakout, even bulls, breakout, pull back into this range to run. So a lot of the confluence could tell me here to be short for myself. I don't know about your strategies, but that's what I see in these levels currently. So below 39 even. Could front run it to the level, trying to catch it down to this level and then through, and then add onto it as it flushes through the overnight high. That could be the play here. So I'm going to look to see if it breaks and closes below 39. If it closes below 39, then I may look to short that next candle. Delta, though, not acting super heavy. There's the crack. Opening range high is right here at that 21 level. So I think we do kind of at least push into that. There you go. So I'm thinking that we can probably get more selling pressure into this. Yeah, I got to check my connections. I don't really like the way this is acting. And I don't think it's the program. I think it's my internet. I'm willing to take the shot at this and shoot one on it. I just want to let it pop a little bit. If it doesn't pop and it goes straight down, then we're in. There it goes. Like I mentioned, I think below 39, you do get a short up into 21, which basically exactly just happened. So then you need to see what happens from there, if it's going to hold or break. As I mentioned with that. So we are looking to short through the overnight high. Again, I will do that. But I'm only going to shoot with one contract at the moment because this could just pop on us through here. It could be just a liquidity grab. 687. All right, so we are short here. I want to see what happens around that 90 level. If this cracks this opening range low, we should get a hard flush here. There you go. There's a nice hard flush. I will like to go to break even and see if we can get deeper into this pullback. As we get closer to VWAP, I'm going to start to mitigate my loss here, trail it out. So if we could get through and into VWAP, then that's the opening range breakdown. So I will go to that breakdown there. So I talked about the break from the high, the reason why, the delta break, all that stuff. So if you were able to catch the front run, I'm very proud of you. I'm going to go ahead and take that. This account is $100 away from getting past on that push, but it's probably going to pop up and stop me out here at that level there. But if it doesn't, then we should be able to get lower. I think we can get a lot deeper on this. If we can get through the VWAP, we're going to go stop right to VWAP. Get my stop to VWAP. Okay, I got $600 on that. All right, so that was a nice little grab from the high to VWAP. So hopefully you were able to see the call there. I think we could rotate all the way back down, to be honest with you. However, when it gets to VWAP like that, I like to, especially with the NASDAQ holding up relatively strong compared to the other names and the other indexes, that this could give you a little bit of a bounce here, a good reaction. So we're up 300 on the account. We're only a couple hundred shy. We're one shot away from passing, right? Just shy of $200. So I'm not. That was with one contract. I normally take two. That would have easily passed us on that, but I'm not. With the way that price has been acting early, I didn't want to take the second on that. I was going to add. So my goal, if my internet was acting a little bit smoother here, you kind of got to react. If you're not going to have smooth internet, if things are going to start to feel a little off, deleverage, take one off, whatever. It's fine to take a little bit smaller of a win than to go and start hammering in full size, get whipped around, not be allowed to let your position move around on its own, because it's going to do it in the background, whether you like it or not, right? So we went red to green there on a nice little short. I did call that from 39. I said I think if 39 gives up, then if it closes below 39, you could take the short from this high, rotate at least to VWAP, and then start to mitigate and see what you can take off there. So if you like that, hit the like button. If you understood why I took the trade, hit the like, give me a comment. Do something, interact, please. I just need to increase their algorithms here and show a little bit of interaction. I'm not overly excited. I liked that move, and it is what it is. And then with this 9 o'clock number coming in, it's now time to be patient and wait, right? So one good trade, manage your positions, and you'll be in just fine, right? So that trade there netted us just over 650 on that short. So we were down 3 on a really quick shot at the opening range breakdown, because last week we missed the opening range break to the high side when we opened on the low, and I didn't want to miss it this time, so I took a shot at it quick. Probably should have took it with half size just to give myself an opportunity to let this thing dance, but that's okay. I mean, you still caught a good amount of that, right? From 37 to opening range high, that's a good catch. I mean, from 37. As I mentioned, from there, 36, 37 to opening range high, 21, that bounce, still $300 per contract. The reason I waited and I took my short through the overnight high is obviously that's my normal strategy, waiting for the failure of the overnight levels to break. It's hard because with this overnight level, it was basically 839, right? At 829. So it's right there, the minute before. Good morning, Charlie. How we doing? We're up. Hopefully you took a couple trades already, or you didn't take any and you're flat. That's always good. We took one quick opening range short, and then we talked about this short right here that was going to come in. It slammed right down. I do see more selling coming in. S&P's is absolutely melting off right now. So I think the NQ is going to follow. Oh, if you need some coffee, Day Trading Coffee Co. I start my day with a little scalper's delight. I was going to do a live today, pre-market. We didn't have everything set up, but I think tomorrow, if you follow us on Instagram, at Day Trading Coffee Co., I'm going to do a live. I'm going to do a pre-market breakdown. I'm going to break down some coffee brewing that I do every morning before I start my trading. So it'll be a cool little segment that we're going to start to introduce. So look out for it. If you don't follow us on Instagram, at Day Trading Coffee Co. on Instagram, at Policing Pips on Instagram as well. I would have liked to have held this, but this is that VWAP bounce. That's really my strategy, is grab it, take your money and run. You never know what's going to happen further and down through it. I did believe that once we did crack 687, we were probably going to start to push down a little bit. You can see this is very whippy action coming into this number at 9 o'clock. If you're not in a trade, be flat until 9, see what happens, because you do have manufacturing and employment. So those numbers are going to absolutely move this in some sort of direction, one way or the other. As you can see, we are copy trading. So as across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we were able to be up 311, and then on these other accounts, apparently only 301, because something probably got a little bit funky in the copier on the first trade. I'm Central Time, so you can say whatever at whatever time you want. 9 o'clock my time here. I talk in Central terms. So if you wanted to adjust yourself to my hours, it's currently 8:57 in the Houston, Texas area. So if you're Eastern, if you're anywhere, New York, Florida, East Coast time zone, it is 10 o'clock for all of you. If you're West Coast, if you're in Dubai like Jofi, I have no idea what time it is. So you got that as well. So this cleared up, S&P's cleared up the opening range, the overnight range here. So it went overnight range high to overnight range low. I don't mark up my levels as much as I do on the NQs. I just like to notate the overnight levels for the S&Ps, because usually when it breaks out of these zones, or you can see how it gets right to the tick. S&P's respects to the tick more so than the NQ. The NQ flushes through levels, gives you failures, and rotates. I like the NQ because of that, because I can see some into the manipulation. S&P is really very smooth, very clean. It's a bigger, thicker market. I actually grabbed the Wall Street Journal yesterday, and I was looking at the open interest for last week close on the NQ as opposed to the S&Ps, and the NQ's open interest was like 271,000 on the front contract, and on the S&Ps, the front contract's open interest is over 2 million. So you could see the amount of interest in these two different contracts and the open interest in them. Got 1 minute coming, so wait to see what this number does, if it's going to just flip us around, dance us about. You can see Delta down here didn't get as heavy as it wanted to, so this could be a wick off bottom for this number to come out and just skyrocket us. So just be careful. This was that setup. This is exactly what I wanted to take out of it. I wanted to take it from the very high here, and I wanted to hold it and add at the overnight high, and then take one off down here at VWAP, and then let the rest ride. But that's for another day. Like I said, my internet was being a little funky at that time, so I didn't want to play around at levels that I normally don't play with, right? Away from my level. There's a pop. It must come out lower than expected. 48.7 as opposed to 50. There's that big push. I'm going to leave it alone. Let it go. Let it do its thing. So manufacturing inflation lower. That's interesting. 51.1 on the employment, which is higher than the 49. Okay, apparently the stock exchange is having some technical issues at the moment. Let's see, Microsoft on that number didn't really react too much. NVIDIA still just wedging here at the highs. NVIDIA has some interesting news on the AI front. Let's see. What's GME doing? Probably still melting off. Yes, it is. $30. I'm gonna wait and be very, very patient around here. Let this thing dance around for a while. I'm not really interested in messing around near this number at the moment, especially early in the week, being up. You could see whippy upside push back down. The direction is unclear, but we're basically right back to where we started, right? Big push up, no follow through. Push right back down into VWAP. The support here, it's kind of just relative to just a rough, it's a rough trend line there, but you could see we pushed up into my consolidation zone that I was talking about here. Huge consolidation zone. It was an area of resistance, consolidation, breakdown, tried to break it there, flushed it, came back to it. So this area is reactive. This is another area where it reacted. We came right to that area again. When we were up here and I was talking about the short, right up here, I said everybody's looking for a short here, longs and shorts, right? Because realistically, if you're in this zone, it's a consolidated zone. If markets want this higher, if they want to push it higher, this is a great area for them to get some shorts, to push us back down deeper so they can get a bigger push from the lows, get that retest, if you will, of this breakout of this trend line. So I think even down to 588 isn't unrealistic, because that's a good area for them to want to start bidding it back up again, right? But, like I said, it doesn't have to do that. And then I said this trend line is very rough. It's very crude, but a crack of that could lead us down to that 632. And then down below, like I said, 588, that's a good area for buyers. So a lot of confluences told me that short was what needed to happen there. And so that's why I went with the short side idea here. Also, a failed breakout, overnight high, good reason there. Delta divergence, we got that. All of the setup came in. I was very interested in front running it. I mentioned it if you weren't in here. If you were late to the stream, I was talking about this. If it held below this 39, break and a hold below 39. Yes, this trend line was useful, but it was really that 39 level that I was interested in holding below. So it was this candle here, and I wanted to enter on the next candle with one contract. I know Ray took it. He took it from 37, which is great. Great entry right there at 37. Rotated it down. I wanted to obviously add below here and then try and take one off at VWAP and then see what I could do. With that number at 9, everything that came into play, I just trailed out, took one. But I only took it from the break of the overnight high down to here. So we went from slightly red to up green, a nice 1-to-1, basically risk to reward on the day, down 3 to up 3. So we are going to be waiting very patiently. We're only just shy of $200 away from taking this account to XFA again. There you go, Ray, if you want that. Just being patient now, waiting. If you are in need of some caffeine, daytradingcoffeeco.com, hit it up, get some coffee. That's the problem. I need one more monitor because I run the chat in this one and I don't have the stream up. I have that. Maybe I should mess with this a little bit on this monitor. Ready. Lots of things to keep track of when you're streaming and trading. Trading is hard enough as it is when you're doing it and just trading, and then trying to interact, make sure everybody's on the same page, providing the right screens and everything like that. So sometimes I get a little sloppy, and I apologize for that. But I am a human, so if I had a production team, it would be nice. But I am just one man. Everything to me on that does indicate technically we are looking for shorts. We are in an uptrend, however. And then also that number technically shows deflationary for the ISM. So deflationary in the ISM is pro rate cut. We do have a Fed blackout period this week, so none of those Feds are going to be talking. So that's another good thing. So you're not going to get a lot of like outside talk like after that number. Just now, you're not going to get a Fed speaker coming on and saying, we like this, we like that, we like this, and then the market does whatever. They are in a blackout period. They're not allowed to talk for, I don't know, a whole week, I think. I think it might be more. Let me see. Let's see. Here we'll go. Fed blackout period. Second Saturday preceding a federal open market committee meeting and ends on the Thursday following the meeting. So whenever the meeting is, that's when they're not allowed to talk until then. So now you can see we're right around VWAP. This is a congested area, a place where people want to be executing orders, so price is going to be going up and down and up and down. You're going to get some manipulation. The number manipulated at us high side. We pulled back, canceled it out completely, but we made a higher low technically in these 1 minute bars, right? So see what else comes of this. NVIDIA, GME rolling over. AMD is rolling over. SMCI also rolling over. NVIDIA is the only chip name really holding up that Soxel sector. But it is also starting to look heavy a bit. If we can get this. So the 9 o'clock hour, closed. It closed just above that trend line, so that does give this a little bit of hold. But if we can get this 30-minute to break and hold below here, previous day high could come in and act as support, right? Support here, support here, support here. If it does give up and crack and then you rotate down to overnight lows, then maybe potentially we look for a bounce play at these overnight lows. Look at this delta, like giving you like a rising wedge type deal. So if it does give you a little crack, aggressive sellers coming in. But it is higher lows, just kind of consistent with what's going on with price. If you get rid of this news whip action, algo action there, then potentially looking at that going like that. But personally, realistically, this is June, so this is summer months trading, so there's a good chance. We'll do, yeah. I got not what's going on? Not a lot of conviction in the summer months to get this to go. What's up, Jofi? How we doing today? Hopefully you made some money in that London session like you always do. We are sitting currently up 311 on this one account. So across 5 accounts, $300 on each account. We're looking to get all 5 of these ready to go. Yeah, it was a tricky London session, I guess, for you. Overall, it was a very choppy sideways, grinding upwards type action from that, to what time do you start trading? It did just kind of chopped a lot. You start trading around 2-3 o'clock. There's a pull. There's the sell off, and the delta cracked right to the value area low. I think we go to the previous day high. We got to see if a bounce comes in here or if it's going to fail it. Or you look for this type of move here where we break down, we whip above, we kind of hold, and then we kind of come in and fail and make new lows. Then that's really kind of what we look at into this area here and then down into the overnight lows. I don't know how that decides to do that. If you're over on YouTube, head over to tradecaster.com. Head into my lobby there. The more viewers, the better in there. I manage my chat in there, and I try to flip back and forth to the YouTube chat as much as I can. But if I don't get to your question or comment like in a timely fashion, let me know. I'll do a better job of kind of clicking in and out of that YouTube chat. But right now, we are always conversating, having good conversation over there in the Tradecaster chat. And then if you don't like me, you could always flip to another trader. If I'm going to be just waiting, sitting on my hands at certain times of the day, you could always hop into the equities rooms, go into Dex room, go into AK's room, head over to Yeah Buddy or any of the other guys that are streaming Mo Trades or anybody that you may be interested in. You have a wide variety of traders and different types of things that they do here in Tradecaster. So if you are on YouTube, click over and create a free trial. It's a 7-day free trial. You can get full access. After that 7 days are up, you could still access my room. I'll be free for the time being until they make me have to make people be paid. But I like to give it away and let people just kind of listen and understand what we got going on a day-to-day basis. So currently, like I said, it's very summary, right? The June months are difficult to trade. I think a lot of time. I think we're in a different market environment than ever before. I think volatility and volume will still be here through the summer, but you're going to have to find your spots to make your executions, and you got to just when it comes and it shows its face and you have the hand in front of you and it's an A+ setup, you have to take it and do your best to mitigate any sort of losses, because you might not get the same follow through you got earlier in the year, right? But you will still get some moves to come into play here just because of the environment that we're in currently, and the era of sell in May and go away is kind of come and gone. Because with the advent of digital and online trading and all this stuff with these online brokerages and everything like that, people trade all year. Everything is remote. They're not going into the office. They're not taking, even on their vacations, they're taking their charts with them. So I think the volume is bigger now than ever before. The moves are bigger than ever before. The percentages in NASDAQ for it to go 1% is more than it ever was prior, right? Because every time you make new all-time highs, 1% of that is a bigger move, right? So, you're still going to get bigger moves. You're still going to be able to make some money in this market. You just got to be more picky and understand when the time is right? Right now, it doesn't feel correct, right? You waited. If we took this trade here and then you're just like an all-day hold kind of person, some bigger size just got filled there right around VWAP at 78. Looks like 100 plus. So watch, see if a bid comes in here. You can see that popping. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go run and grab a cup. Who needs a cup when you get the whole Chemex? Alrighty, here we go. I think I'm gonna switch the mug over to the bowl side. Pour over is where it's at. If you want that full flavor profile in your coffees. Really, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was always a coffee person. That's why I started the coffee company, right? However, I was always just like brew it in a machine, and I didn't care about the grind textures and stuff like that. But once I started getting into the business of it and understanding, like, the nuances behind coffee brewing and grind sizes and bean roasts, and I started to really appreciate the ability to the other brew methods. I always thought people were being fancy with their French presses and their pour overs, but really it does bring out different flavor profiles. If you don't have a Chemex or a pour over or something like that, you just have a drip machine, a good grinder is probably the best thing that you could possibly do. So the good beans and a good grinder, it doesn't matter what your machine is, you can get really good flavor out of a coffee. So cheers. All right, let me check this real quick. Alrighty. So back into that shorter term trend line there, that just sloppy trend line, right? This isn't a perfect exact trend line, so don't be just following this to a T. Draw it up yourself. I draw it up just for your reference and for anything. I don't really take this. I just use it for like a reaction point. It could be a good point of selling, but like I said, the VWAP is very close. Doesn't give me that opportunity to really. The reason I trade away from VWAP and then the pullback, there's a lot less interest away from the VWAP. There's a lot less execution, so people need to find a place for price to get magnetized to. And the biggest magnet of everything in the markets is the VWAP. So a lot of times I like price to get extended away from the VWAP, and I'll take that move back to VWAP, try to get that clean move, take my little piece of the profits, and then mitigate, or I'll trail through it. Like I said, if I could get it to here, and when I took this trade earlier, if you rewind it and listen to my management of it, I said that I wanted to get it down to VWAP, and if it can get down and through, I'll put my trail stop right above it. And I was able to get that 1 or 2 ticks right here through it and pop my stop right there, and that ended up me getting there. So I'll show that. I'll put these on here because it helps you guys see it, right? I took the short there. Short down through only one contract. I think this is populating more than one on here because it's trade copied. I only shorted one contract through this low here and then took it off down here at the VWAP when the VWAP was there, when it's a correct spot. For some reason, Top Step X, there's little nuances to it. So, I mean, the platform is great and everything is good, but there's something about this VWAP that gets a little funky sometimes. So just be mindful of that if you are on Top Step X, or if you notice on my screen that this does this a little bit weird. Well done, Jofi. Well done, brother. Is that the funded one? The PA over there? And you only have 3, 4, 5. You got. I think they're supposedly on Apex talking about taking away that time period of when you can get it. So that would be nice for you. I don't know when they're going to do that, though. This show, I'm gonna take these executions off here because it's showing like multiples of everything, and I don't really appreciate that to clutter up the screen for you. I just wanted to show the transparency of you could see where the entries are. It populates the entries for you. Obviously, you can see the P&L on top. You can believe it how you want. If you've been in the room before, you know that it's legit. It's what we do every day. But I'm just trying to show where the executions actually were. I think with the trade copier, it just populates a bunch of executions onto this chart. So I'm going to take it off because it gets a little clustery. Save that. Yeah. So honestly, I am for this this combine here. I'm only just shy of $200 away from passing it. I will take another trade at some point. If it's today or tomorrow, I don't know. I'm just going to be very patient. I'm not going to try and force it in just to do it. I've done that plenty of times in the past where I'm not going to lie to you, I've been $20 away from an account and I say, oh, I'm going to fucking just hammer it in, and you lose 200. Then you lose another 200 because you want to get that 200 back, and then you end up blowing that. And it happens more often than you think. So if you start to stray away from just the strategy in order to pass an account, that's when you start to get yourself in a lot of trouble. So I got to stick to the strategy, execute trades according to my strategy, and show the discipline to be able to walk away. I could have my XFA tomorrow, but I'm not going to do that just because I want to take a bad habit trade, right? Apparently, Berkshire Hathaway dropped $85,000. What in the world? BKA. BRK. Berkey. Oh, wow. What in the world did he in... How did that happen? I feel like this is definitely messed up. Berkshire Hathaway A. Look at this chart. What in the world is going on here? I think the stock market's broken. I would be very careful executing anything right now. Look at this. Berkshire Hathaway went from 644,000 to $185. I think it's messed up. I think something's going on technically in the stock exchange. I don't think this is true. There's no way that's true. that's a Berkshire Hathaway. That's a bad news bears if that's true. I don't know if Berk B does. Yeah, so you can see it's more clean. These are the Class B shares. Yeah, there's definitely technical issues in the stock market, so they're going to be messing around. So I would be cautious on the indexes as well. I know the CME group is separate from the New York Stock Exchange, but a lot of these names tend to kind of mess it. Yeah, Buffett retirement money, like he's going to retire. Maybe he'll retire before he dies. Oh, man, that's funny. Yeah, no, I would, like I said, CME Group is not connected to the New York Stock Exchange. However, I would just be cautious if they are messing with the technical issues in the stock exchange. Then you might get some weird price action in the futures because there's not a direct correlation right now currently with these names. So just be careful. Nvidia is still holding the highs. Nvidia did have a 2-hour release on like their AI future developments and stuff like that. So there's more room to the upside for Nvidia. I mean, I think it's never ending until it decides to not. A lot of people are, they talk about how they think Nvidia is an inflated company, and they talk about that it's way overpriced. Technically, Nvidia is it's a very good company, right? In the past, I have Nvidia shit in my computer right now, right? Before the AI sector, it was gaming and all that stuff. But Nvidia also has a huge stake in the entire AI community. So if you go research their book a little bit, they own like 5 of the other biggest names of the AI industry. So if the AI industry continues to blow up, Nvidia is going to be the forefront of that technology in the pricing of it, right? Because they own shares of those companies within the company. So a lot of that valuation comes from their holdings as well. So it's not just what they do as a technology company, but it also has to do with a lot of their holdings and a lot of what they're doing on the sidelines. So, you could say it's overvalued all you want. Once they cut the stock, they do the stock split, or, it's going to be tradable for more people, and then it's going to just come right back up. And who knows? Just like how Tesla did before its stock splits, right? Tesla back in the day, if you go to Dale, let's go with monthly. This was COVID, kind of pulled back, and that this was at this time I think it was more like in the same range it is now. So they did the stock split down in here, and then what do you know? We're back up into these ranges post stock split. So you're going to be thinking the same thing for Nvidia. Nvidia. Oh gosh, I have a lot of levels on Nvidia. Nvidia, you get that flat action, price action starts to rally all of last year, pushing up into this year. You get that stock split, all of this adjusts to the pricing, right? But, if they split it 20 to 1, you're down in this range. Don't be surprised if it comes right back into that $1,000, $500, $600, $700 a share, right? So it's not out of the realm of possibility, right? So just, even $500 a share post split makes that valuation huge, right? Microsoft. This is that monthly chart. I'm going to put it on the 30-minute. Oop. Microsoft bounced off that 412 zone. Five minutes pushing. So this is my time to stay out, right? If you got to just kind of be mindful of some of these things, right? Like I said, with the stock market being broken, technical issues, things like that. There's a lot of external factors. Although this is its own thing, there are external factors that could lead into certain, people staying in or out or whatnot, right? So larger players wanting to play around, maybe they're just staying out right now until things get a little bit better. So we'll see what happens with this. And then just stay in tune with the markets, stay in tune with what's going on. Stock market is broke. Unusual Whales tweets that. Numerous multi-billion-dollar companies are down 99% in seconds, including Berkshire Hathaway A, BMO, and Gold. The New York Stock Exchange has said it is investigating. So that's kind of your information there. Twitter is good for that kind of thing. If you could avoid the nonsense talk, you can get some really good detail out of it. But right now we're getting lower volume, flattened price action, right along VWAP. Nothing that I want to be trading, even though we are right at our overnight high, right where I took my short prior. I'm not looking to execute at the moment because technically we've held that trend line to the low. We have kind of accumulated a large amount of orders to the buy side. I believe maybe if we break through this level, push through the high of the day, that then we have further to go. If you read the write-up I mentioned, I would not be surprised if all-time highs get hits this week. If we start to get into a trend, if we start to build that buy-side pressure, I don't think that there's any reason that it would stop. But also I wouldn't be surprised in either direction because of the area where we're at right now. It's just like I said, it's the quiet period for the Fed. There's a lot of not great information. Yes, you have red folder events every single day. Job openings, it's not really going to move us. This ISM possibly could be the biggest mover compared to non-farm. Non-farm is that most important number. So if we roll into Friday and we're close to the high end of the range, or we're driving upside and this non-farm comes out in a favorable manner, then potentially you get that all-time high whip. If we are just kind of flat and sideways all the way through ISM numbers and the ISM number doesn't pull us in either direction as far as services, then potentially this non-farm will bust us out of whatever consolidation we're in. I don't know what's going on with my... Sometimes my YouTube gets a little mad about the video streaming. Not much I could do. It doesn't let me... There we go. Better. That's cool. I'm not convinced in a direction. And I don't think anybody is really, right? This was the trade. If you took it, good on you. If you didn't, there's always going to be another trade. I wouldn't try and chase it. I wouldn't try and force it. You do have the S&Ps being a little cleaner, holding below VWAP. This VWAP loves to get readjusted and be weird. You have Frank Sinatra on. Nice. I like to run Frank Sinatra on the stream here and there. I just tend to get yelled at by YouTube, and Not that it matters because I'm not monetized on YouTube, but it just annoys me to see YouTube sends me a bunch of emails. You're preaching. So that's why I put headphones on. Let's see. I'll go to YB's. Why not? YB, what's up, dude? What's Yeah Buddy doing? Yeah, buddy. This kid is entertaining. Yeah, buddy. Just crushing a Monday, huh? Apparently, there's an announcement on Top Step TV. What are they doing? They're doing some weird shit. What's their announcement? Top Step X is now mobile friendly. That's dangerous. I like it. Oh, yeah, old school tunes. That's all it's about, baby. I've kind of gotten into, not into. I've always listened to it. I'm a New Yorker deep down, so I got that old school Italian music lifestyle in me. So we are starting at just lingering here at VWAP. Not a lot to do trading wise at the moment. And trying to sit on your hands a little bit. If you're up, you're up. If you're down, you're down. Don't try to force things in. So they are releasing a Top Step X. And you're a young guy, Jofi, so I appreciate that in a kid because I don't usually see that, but the more you listen to that old stuff, it really gives you an appreciation for how good of music they had back in the day and how much talent people actually had to have. Now it's all just kind of commercialized and the next quick hit, and you can't even forget about some of these newer songs as they go. So we are starting to flush a little bit here, pushing down. As NQ is pushing right into the the overnight range here, the overnight low. So if S&Ps can hold below this 52.95, you can watch the NQ try and catch up and start to push down. The overnight low is well below us here, down at that 18,539 quarters. So if you can get through the previous day high, potentially look to rotate down, but that is going to be a bounce point for us. You could see another bounce point for the NQ for the S&P. So I would be cautious on playing any shorts currently. We just wait and be patient. Have to see if the S&Ps are going to push up that way. There's a flush of the S&Ps, so if the S&Ps goes, then the NQ usually goes. Let's see what the Delta's doing. You see it's pretty straight down there. Could be interested in this short. This has to break and hold. Russell is absolutely getting crushed, pushing straight down. You do have an S&P now held, so we'll see what this candle does. We have another pop above there. NVIDIA trying to push through lows of the day. The low of the day on NVIDIA is 11:30.11. And so we're right now at 11:34.21. So it could move. Just watch this. I'm getting rid of that. This is a very interesting point here as well. There we are. Love it, Jofi. Looks like it wants to get heavy again here. Could be the breaking down point. You get the breakdown of this. Watch this previous day high. See if it'll be act as a bounce point. The NVIDIA bounce just kind of happened. They wicked down a little bit on the 5. Let's see what it looks like on the 1. NVIDIA is very choppy, very sideways. Has been driving this market. Microsoft holding below that 414.92. It did bounce right off the top of that 412.50 area. So it could be a rotation from that level back up to highs on Microsoft. NVIDIA curling back upside. So I'm not sold on this quite yet for a short, although it could go because of this S&P wanting to go as well. So we are just trying to keep it chill, keep it calm. That looks like a nice little bottom break down here. Could give you that nice little quick run to the previous day high. I will be cautious, see if that previous day high does hold. That lines up at the 632 quarter level. That's that longer term time frame. S&P is looking like it wants to try and get up over that. If it gets up over that 52.95, I anticipate that rotation back to VWAP. If it holds this, then you get the rotation down, potentially looking to see if it'll get through and into that 52.90.50 level. That's an interesting level as well right here. Some consolidation and a bounce point there. So 52.90 flat to the downside, but it looks like it wants to hold. It doesn't feel as heavy as it could. This is a nice little bounce area. When I draw up these white lines in the middle of the session, it's just kind of something that's a reference point, nothing that I'm actually trading at the moment. We did take that one short from here. Yes, I draw up this little trend line wedge thing just to kind of just show you what I'm looking at as far as price action. A lot of times when I draw this up, it has to do with the delta divergences that are kind of going on under. It's an underlying thing, not just a trend line, not just like a, we're not just playing this just because if this pattern formed anywhere else, you're not necessarily looking to trade it. But we pushed up over our overnight high. We had the opening range, which kind of really ran up right up to the overnight high as well. It was slightly above it. I mentioned that 39 to 60 level, 39 to 57 actually. 39 to 57 was my range based on previous consolidation at this area, right? This was that area there. We were getting a delta divergence where price was making new high after new high here, right? New high, new high. Delta was making a decreasing highs, right? Every high was shallower and shallower and shallower. So that's what we started to get here. I said, if this starts to break down, it means that the aggressive buyers are being outweighed by the aggressive sellers. So if you could break through this 39 level, you could take it to VWAP and be comfortable with that. I never got to enter up here because my internet was being a little weird, or I was getting something going on where it was bouncing around too much and I couldn't quite get into the contracts that I wanted to get into. I had a stop order down here below the overnight high because my strategy normally calls for a failure of the overnight high, rotation on a day where you fail to break out in either direction. And it does help that the opening range opened up there, so that's kind of multiple confluences that a lot of times when you open up on that overnight high, if it's not going to continue on quick, that's going to be the high of the day. So I like to rotate that back down to the overnight low, or initially to VWAP. So a quick little grab there from overnight high to VWAP. Anybody else who caught it from up here, good on you. That's the trade that we took straight down right to VWAP. We trailed it right there, took profit on that. So I only took one contract on it, like I said, because of the internet issues that was going on quick, and because I got burned last week on a few times where price would break down from my area, wick me in at my overnight high, and then rotate on. But today it was pretty clean, very easy to see that it was going to kind of falter, get into this area. So we went from slightly red because we took the quick little opening range breakdown, got wicked in, stopped out quick. I saw that the choppiness in the internet was acting weird. So we pulled ourselves back. We waited, got patient, waited for our level to come in, took our money and ran up 311 across 5 accounts on that. So we are just waiting to see what we can come into again moving forward. If you're in YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe. Also, share it up. Head up on the please make me an espresso. Sorry, the wife's asking if I want some espresso. Of course, I always want espresso. Always. All right, so now you're starting to get heavier. S&P's breaking. This could be that dead cat bounce, rotate down. If we do crack and flush this, previous day high is that next area of interest where I would like to start to see if we can get continuation to the downside, although you do have some support here as well. So that's my thought on this. If the previous day high does go, I want to see overnight lows come in. However, you do have a lot of consolidation within this, 600 to 570 area. That overnight low is a very key point, though. So I do like that. So this is just me thinking through how my executions would take place. If I'm going to play a continuation follow through on the previous day high, I'm going to have to wait for confirmation. I'm going to have to wait for a break of that previous day high, an acceptance below, maybe even a pop back up into that 640 area, or even up into where we're breaking down now, right? If we could break down through here, break down here, right, to previous day high should come in pretty easily if this is going to be a confirmed breakdown, right? It should be a fast move straight down to here. And then it'll probably give you a flush of this after a little pop, and then another pop. Like I want to see this kind of action here. Push up, push down into the level, bounce, hold below it, maybe a lower bounce, and then a rotation down even further. So that's what I'm looking at. This same type of price action, but down here at the previous day high. Like I said, I'm just shy of 200 away from repassing this. Getting myself back funded again after blowing up my funded after taking my withdrawal on April. We pulled out our withdrawal and then kind of hit May with just like a skid of just bad luck. We were seeing the market well, but our execution started to get a little sloppy and drew ourselves down and then started trading too tight instead of letting the trades work in our favor. Now we're back into getting into a good groove. As I mentioned, I'm just trying to get myself, with June being a little bit funky with me for trainings, and I have my family coming in a couple weeks, so like I may be in and out of stream, I may be on and off the chart. So my goal for this month is to maximize funding across multiple accounts and then start to really leverage that as we start to move forward, and then start to show you the power of the compounding and the trade copier and the withdrawals and everything like that. So that's what we're looking to do with this for the month of June. I don't trade any different. I was trading a little different, and then I got myself back into my normal groove. So there's that nice flush, right? Pretty easy to see that this break was going to lead us right to that previous day high. Currently none. I burned them. So I was up $4,000 in April, and then took a withdrawal, and then I burnt the PA, the funded account, the XFAs. So now we're just working on getting back into some more funding and working on to that. So I've been funded on and off over the course of years, and sometimes you just burn them, and sometimes you get into a bad little rut, and you get into a bad place, and you start to force it. So these accounts are not forever, right? So if you can maximize your profits on them, start to learn to pull money out of them. Yeah, you pull them out. If you can try and pull out the money as you can, and then build it up, and then just repeat until you can become consistently to a point where you can put it into maybe a personal account, maybe some of the profits into a personal account, and then you load that up, and then do it that way. Because realistically, right, these accounts will be called $250,000 accounts, $50,000 accounts, $150,000 accounts, but they're really not that size, right? Because if you have that size account personally, then you're definitely not blowing it when you breach the $3,000 drawdown, right? So it's really it's easy to hit that kind of drawdown when you're trading with the size, but if you're trying to do it correctly, you could definitely make it work. I think we can get the breakdown of 24. If we break 24 and then we pop back up here, I'll look to play the continuation on this breakdown of the previous day high based on the S&Ps, right? So we are in an area where I am now interested in taking a short. I do want to see what happens at this little zone here. There's a lot of consolidation here. I want to pop it up above, maybe into that 40 area again, and then I'll play the failure. Or if it's just going to break and just go straight down, then I missed it, right? That's not the kind of trade I want to be in. Saw this coming. I probably could have been able to take that and been done with this and back in the XFA on one, but I'm not looking to just take subpar entries for myself. It was pretty clear as though it was subpar for what I'm looking for currently, right? That's just kind of my normal strategy. This is going to start to get heavy kind of quick. I think 588 does come in. 588. What is going on? Oh, that's that magnet. Turn this magnet off. 588. That's going to be an interesting bounce point. 588.50. Honestly, I was in my best rhythm on Nvidia's rolling over in April when I was doing what I'm doing now, right? Yeah, this move is happening, but I don't have that I need to get into it feeling, right? So all of April, I stuck to my normal strategy, these overnight high failed breakdowns, just using these levels, previous day levels and overnight levels. I use some longer term key zones that I talked to you about, and that's kind of what these white lines are going to be. That's this 632 level is actually really important. Aside from the previous day high, it's been reactive for a while. So once that gives up, then down into 588.50 is pretty easy, pretty clean for it to get to. I don't think that I would have liked this to have just not went straight down. I would have liked to have gotten this to give me some sort of pullback like it did here. It was reactive there and then not anymore. Trying to talk through exactly kind of what I'm looking at here. This short from there to the previous day high is pretty easily 330, and then now down here to 1100. Down into the bottom end of VWAP, right? So we're one standard deviation away from VWAP. We're sitting on that. Could give you that bounce because of that. Same thing here. You see it kind of running into that upper band of VWAP. Then that's a rotation. There's a lot of confluence there. So I want to see a bounce here. I want to see it pop back over that level and then potentially fail it. That's my goal here, is to see if it'll get all the way up into this level here and give me a reason to get in, not just because it got there. If it just gets there and immediately sells off, I'm also just not interested in that. That doesn't allow me the ability to get in. 588.50, this yellow line here. There's that push down to the 588s. Should get tagged. So the levels work if you just let them work. And then just find a reason to get in or out. Give yourself like a confluence. 90.25. So it missed it by 2 points on that first push down there. So see what happens from there. But if you just look left, help yourself out a little bit, understand what maybe could be drawing that there. So overhead resistance right there at 99, 600. So see what happens at 600 if it's going to continue down. S&P is still pushing, marching downside. So the pop up to 6, and then we'll see it'll pop, roll back down. As I mentioned at the highs, when we were talking about why the shorts probably come in there, I'll go back to my longer term chart here on TradingViews to show you a little bit of what I was talking about and thinking about on that short idea from this spot right here, right? This is where we were short interested on Thursday. This is a key zone, right? If you look to the left, look at the consolidated price action we had for that, 2-day period, right? Everything stayed right between those two zones, between 39 and 57. So I said once we get back into that 39 and 57, there's a lot of people here that would be interested for this to be pulled back from this level. Longs want this to pull back from here, and shorts want this to pull back from here, right? So there's a confluence there. So then when you start to roll back to this chart here, this is that price action as we approached it. We got a delta divergence. So I talked about the delta divergences as the aggressive buyers as opposed to aggressive sellers. They stepped in here and then we rotated right down through 88. So there's that break at 88. We pushed right up between that two zones, right? We got right up to 56.75 or 56 even. I said if we crack below 39, which is that other bottom end, we should rotate down. There you goes, that first leg down, pull back to the overnight high, didn't quite make it there. You got probably a delta divergence on that. Let's see if we did. Not really. I mean, this just didn't quite. You did have some aggressive buyers coming into this, but then you started to see sellers to fade, aggressive sellers fading into this, rotating us down through, and now we are down. Delta is trying to pop, but price is trying to push lower. So there's a little bit of pause here at that 88 area. Overnight low, that's my bounce play area. So if we flush this, rotate down, and then pop back up, then we'll be happy to see if we can take that long down to 31.75. So really this purple zone here, if we can get down into it, give me a setup, I will look to take a quick long off that. That's where I would be interested in a bounce play. So really, I love this if I can hold it. It's difficult for me to do that. I'm very short term. I'm quick to take my money and run on some of these. Maybe moving forward, I will have a little bit of, when I have some buffer after I'm back and have a couple different accounts rolling on it. You can take this as more of a intraday swing. It is still a day trade. It's just less of a scalp. It's a few hour hold, right? Something like that. You take this, you short it, you leave the stop at the high, and you rotate from overnight high to overnight low. That's the full rotation that I look for on a rotational type day. You want it, especially on a Monday, it likes to clean up a lot of that Sunday night price action. So that's what I like to do. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about with when I say full rotation, it's usually the full overnight rotation, overnight high to overnight low. Appreciate everybody coming by. I don't trade within 5 minutes of the hourly close, so I want to let this hour close up and see what happens for that period of time. So hourly, 30-minute candle. I get a lot of confluences out of the letting that go, and a lot of times you get manipulations around these hourly candles. So I just like to let this thing settle in for that last 5 minutes, let the manipulation happen come the hourly close, and then look to re-enter if I'm at an area where I'm interested. If not, I just kind of wait and let it play out. That was a really, really nice flush of this 54. So you can see the breakdown here. I mentioned that if this does go and S&P holds below 95, then you should rotate right to the previous day high and through. So we got that move. Hopefully somebody caught that. Kind of just talking through it. It's not part of my strategy, so I'm not executing on it. I'm trying to show good discipline and be able to do it the right way. I do like that as an entry, and maybe, if I was looking to be a little more aggressive, that would be an area where I would be interested in taking that short. But if you timed it poorly, you get stopped out. So you need to wait for that actual confirmation, that breakdown of this key level there. If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, levels that they're watching, something that they want me to look at, let me know. I did do my write-up this week. If you want to look at that, it's up in the alerts. If you're on YouTube, head over to the bio. If you're also on YouTube and you're watching and you haven't been here before, hit the like button, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. It doesn't take a lot out of effort and kind of helps me out a little bit. I'm not, going crazy with it, but it would be nice to get a little bit of the algorithm to push you a little bit. I'm going to share the Day Trading Coffee Co. website to keep myself from wanting to hammer into trades for no reason. DayTradingCoffeeCompany.com. Right there. The link is in the chat. You can click over there, take a look at our hats, shirts, coffee, freshly roasted on order every time. So once you order it, you get that sent right to your door, freshly roasted. Never have to worry about it sitting on a shelf and going bad. You're not getting some old coffee. We roast it right on order. And it's really the only coffee company dedicated to day trading. So everything that we do is focused on that. Obviously, we sell to anybody who wants the coffee, but our main goal is to fuel that day trading community, one cup of coffee at a time. And also, once we start breaking into some profitability, we are doing a funding fund. So where we're going to be donating combines. We do work with Lightspeed brokerage. We created a partnership with them. I can go over that in a little bit. Lightspeed we're going to do potentially when we do get to the point where we can donate a larger amount. We're going to do cash accounts, and we'll do a little application process for the time when that comes about. But I really look forward to giving back to the community that way. So the more coffee we sell, the better chance that you'll get a funded cash account sometime in the future once that comes. So that's my goal with that. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. If you look at the bottom of the stream, you can see a scrolling bar that's got the website. Also, it shows policing pips, gets you 15% off all your orders. So don't be afraid to use that as well. 10 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. I know JKD was mentioning that it's Eastern Time. It's 10 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. So I can run through the time zones for you guys. But here it's 10 a.m. I'm going to stream here till 11 Central Time. So that's my schedule here, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 11. This week, I do have a rifle qualification for work on Wednesday at 11. So I probably will be on for the open till about 10, maybe a little bit before 10, before I have to cut bait and run. So just be mindful of that on Wednesday. If you do notice, or if you come on later normally and I'm not here, that's the reason. I got to go to training. This is going to be a little bit of a weird month as far as streams are concerned. I'm going to try and update the stream schedule on the board as we go week to week. So I'll start putting it on the top of the Tradecaster stream there. If you do want to know my streaming schedule and you are interested, follow me on Instagram. Usually, if I'm going to not be on, I'll mention it the night prior or the day of. So you can always hit me up at Policing Pips on Instagram, at Policing Pips on Twitter, even though I don't tweet that much. Jofi, take care. I'm glad you made some money on one of the fundeds. Get some sleep. I'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 in my time, whatever time it is in Dubai. I don't know. This is an interesting level, this 588s. 5:30. Oh, you still got time to eat dinner, enjoy the night, and get some rest. The 588.50, if it holds, you do have down to 566, 560s here that may run into some support. Oh, 5:30 a.m. Okay. Yeah, I got you. 7 p.m. now. 5:30 p.m. Gotcha. So you are going to push. I think 60s could act as support, but realistically, I want to see what happens with that overnight low. Overnight low is close enough to the 531.75. So I think this purple zone possibly gets flushed and gives you that failed breakdown to see if more shorts will get involved. Run some stops from whoever was long from that overnight low on the night. And then maybe look to rotate it back up to that 588 level. And that's kind of where I would end my day if I could get that set up. If I don't get that set up down at the overnight low and it comes here at 588, I'm not taking it, right? I got to be sticking to my strategy, sticking to where I'm at. You do have that VWAP, that standard deviation, like I mentioned, kind of sitting right at it. You do have a lot of volume being executed here around that 18,580. Could give you a pop, but also could continue to sell off and expand this VWAP a bit further. You did make a lower low on Delta, higher low on price. So there is the reverse in the divergence. So I'm just going to be watching this, see what happens with it. There's something about that early. Maybe it was just internet in general because, with the stock market doing its weird thing. Let's see if Berk A came back. Nope, it's still broken. NVIDIA sold off, making higher low here at 1122. Pre-market low, it pretty much got right. Oh, actually not pre-market low, but the pre-market low zone, it kind of got into that 1120 to 1121 down. I mean, it could get even lower, but we did gap up some, so it could roll all the way down into that 1114, which could help us get to that overnight low and then potentially look to get it to be higher. I think this overnight low does have an interesting area. I think that 60 level is an interesting area. It seems like it's just a straight up sell side pressure, but also, like I mentioned, that high end for sellers, there's a good reason for them to pull it back down to that 31.75 level for buyers to get re-involved, because that's where they got involved pre-market, right? So they got involved at the overnight low. This is where they were interested in buying. Could they be interested in buying it here again? There's a reason why it's still low, right? It doesn't necessarily need to get all the way here, but I do want it there. Like I said, I mentioned 61, 65. 65 is so like this whole area here that we just kind of tickled could act as support as well. So there's your So the gap we popped up on the open, rotated back down, caught support right at this purple box. I drew this purple box up, I don't know how long ago. It's just been here. And so it came down to the top of it by a tick and rotated up. I don't draw things just to draw them. They're there for some sort of reason. They're reactive, they're areas, they're zones. So for me to see this act as a tick, it's still a reactive zone. So it's still something that I would be interested in and mindful of. And you could see our trade earlier was around another purple area that kind of got wicked off and then failed, right? So those things do play out. So just think about those. Short squeeze espresso. If you are an espresso person, you got a good grinder, you're ready to step up your espresso game, take some of these. Always good. Always smooth. Very nice. As I mentioned, we were sitting up 311 on. We took one quick loss on the first trade of the day on the attempt at the short on the breakdown of the opening range. Quick little short. Internet was acting a little funky. Things got choppy. I took a step back, kind of let things settle down, let the price get above, manipulate a bit, and then we took that nice short to VWAP, which basically netted us 600 and change. So bringing us from down about 300 to up 300. So we're just sitting here waiting, seeing if we can get a setup to come into play, trying to teach patience for you guys, trying to show you that levels do play out. Levels are reactive. That's all the market is seeking efficiency. That's all it's trying to do. It's trying to seek where orders will be executed. Yes, it manipulates. Yes, it does things. It's not manipulating you specifically, but if you can understand where the manipulations will come in, what the market's trying to do, give it a little bit of a foresight, but also using your levels to why would somebody want to buy here as opposed to sell, right? What is telling you to sell? What is telling you to buy? Why would somebody be buying? Who are you trading against? And why would they sell it to you? Why would you buy it from them? Why would you sell it to them? All that stuff. Kind of think through that mindset as you're looking at a level, right? Don't just kind of, all right, it's here, I'll go. And then, some people can do that. Some people are really good at, all right, I'm going to set a limit order here at the overnight low. If it runs me over, it runs me over. That's it. If it wicks me in, great. I find that to be better with the equities, the limit in, especially when you're trading on something like TopStep. If you're trading on something like Lightspeed, right? If you're trading equities on a professional platform and you're providing liquidity and you're getting rebates for limit orders and being on the book instead of paying commissions, right? It makes sense to have limit orders, limit in. There's big spreads on certain names, right? The bid ask on some of these names could be upwards of 50 cents a dollar, and then you're losing money, right, on the spreads. So limiting in makes a lot of sense. With the NASDAQ, with the S&Ps, the spreads aren't so wide. The book is tight, right? It's super thick. It's liquid. You don't need to worry about tons of slippage, especially when you're trading one or two contracts. Even up to 10 contracts, you're not going to get a ton of slippage. 10 contracts, they may split your order a few times. This is really interesting for longs, right? Sweep of the low, push up right here at 588. Key level of 588 holds. So that's interesting. For me, though, like I said, this needed to happen right down here at the overnight low. If it happens here, it's a great setup. I can see it. It's coming. You can see it coming, right? However, it's just not an A plus setup. It may be a B plus setup, right? The S&P, the VWAP, the level, the delta. I saw that delta here, so I said, okay, it's probably going to try it again. You see that here again, delta, right? Tried to push lower. Price made new lows. Delta made new lows. It acted in confluence, but then you got a really strong aggressive buyer come in here, and now aggressive buyers are stepping up. They're not pulling back, right? There's no whippiness in here. Seems like this aggressive buyers are starting to step in. This may rotate us up to the previous day high. Then I'll be interested again. If we can get a failure here, I'll look for that short to continue on. And I'm not really looking to get a huge move, right? I'm looking to just catch $200, right? But I'm not looking to just make $200 by doing something that's not part of my plan, right? I could pass tomorrow. I'm not too concerned. 73% long on the tilt. That's a little bit heavy long, so potentially look for it to not quite follow through quite yet, but it's still thinking about getting that way. NVIDIA trying to creep back up. Does have overhead resistance from the pre-market at 1130. 1129, 1130, that area, that zone. So potentially could be there. And then below, if it fails 1126, could continue to rotate back down. And if NVIDIA rolls bad, then this could be a continue push to the downside. Here's your close from yesterday, right? That area, it's close. You flushed it. You got to that close. There was a big gap up, and now we rotated right back down into it. That's another reason why this is kind of interesting. I do usually like to have the previous day close marked. I don't have it on the other side, but this is really, really nice. You can see Delta starting to trying to get heavy. Price still holding that upside. So nothing that's telling you that it's going to pull back quite yet, but it is starting to curl a little bit here. If you start to see an aggressive seller, if you get down below this candle here and this Delta starts to push in, then maybe the rotation happens to 80. But it does seem like it's trying to hold and pop. So if it can pop these highs, Delta should stay strong. There's above 602. All right, so we're above 600 again, another key psychological zone. And then what do you know? Our level held pretty good here. Look at that level there. You can see 588.50. This previous 30-minute candle held above it. This 30-minute candle way down, and then now the bottom end of where we opened is holding, obviously, because that's the open, right? Close, open, pushing down. If this candle can hold above here, above 600, then potentially the rotation back to 632 isn't out of the realm of possibility, which is the breakdown point, which is could be a breakdown, retest, pull back down. Or if it's going to be what I said before, it could end up being a grind up and then just another long opportunity. Any levels, any comments, any concerns, let me know. I will comment. I will review. I'll go over stuff. You want to do GameStop, you want to do anything. I don't really care. When I'm looking at not executing around levels, then waiting. GameStop absolutely just did not do what everybody wanted it to do, apparently, to those. Maybe he exercised his, or not exercising, but he sold his calls, because realistically they jumped. If he sold his calls on open at $40, that's a pretty good call. A whole lot of sitting on my hands here right now. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not here for. I try to do my best with filling the dead air, but at the same time, I'm not trying to execute anything currently. I'm waiting for this overnight low to come into play. This 588 level is important, right? On my longer term chart, that is a good reactive zone, but I think it's going to be more reactive than it is. It might just consolidate around here, and I'm not looking to take anything. Carlos, no, I'm not going to short this right now. I am going to wait to see if this overnight low will come into play. I'm going to look to see if I'll get a failed breakdown of it and I'll rotate it back up. That's where I would be looking to get buys. I like to short overnight levels at the overnight high, and I like to buy overnight lows. Right now, we're pretty much middle of my two areas, right, Carlos? So if I'm in between my zones, I can't really execute. I could potentially short this previous day high if it does get back above there. I was really interested in shorting this. However, it never gave me the opportunity to get an entry, right? If I was just going to go and short this right here, right below my previous day high, reasonably speaking, I could probably get a decent entry, but look at the price to the left, right? I could have broke it and then came right back and failed and been stopped out. So I wanted to see something like this come into play where I got a breakdown, maybe a pop its head above, and then I would have shorted the second chance through it. When it runs me over like this, it's just not something that I can get involved in, right? I just didn't have the opportunity to. I did mention that this breakdown was going to be a good short, so people who were looking at this level could have been a really nice short for you guys. I'm just trying to stick to my A-plus strategy and get myself really back in the good groove of things, right? I didn't short this. It was a good, I said if this does break, then it's a clean push to the previous day high. And I was looking to short the previous day highs if I got a pop. It didn't, it flushed. So right now, this 588 area is just a really strong point of interest. I think there's going to be manipulation around this zone. And so this is not where I want to be involved quite yet. It could break and rotate down. But I would love to see that. That would be great. It would be fantastic because that would put me into my overnight low area where I could be more interested in fading and rotating and getting my buy in. This is a good area. I think this is a point where people who are bullish are looking to get long is here. This is maybe people front running that, or maybe some profit taking or whatever, because it is a good support area. However, all the way down to that 545, there's a big wick onto that. And then down, there's a big consolidation zone from Thursday that we have to deal with. If that does come down, then the bottom end of the consolidation is that 532, which is down into here. So this is where I want price to get to, where longs got involved on Friday at early in the morning. And then that's where the overnight people from last night, from Sunday all the way into today, that's where they got involved long as well. So there's multiple areas of confluence for this to be an area where people want to be looking for a buy. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. If you want to take a quick short through here, maybe it's potentially good, but still Delta is pretty strong. Price is pushing upside. There's a chance that this is the low and it never makes it to our overnight low, and just is what it is. Trying to do some business here quick. What's this guy's name? I don't even know where I posted this. Yeah, there's pushing back up. That's good delta. This does feel like a rotation, right? Sweep at the low, higher low, higher high. Broke through this wick here. I think that does show you some bullishness. Obviously, some bullishness. It's pushing upside, right? These are all moves that I could have taken and passed. However, I'm not looking to just enter something just to enter it, just to pass it. I'm not trading profits, right? June 2nd. I think we're going to rotate a little bit more. I can't be upset at walking away with this 311 on the day. We only have about, 40 minutes left in the stream. I think I possibly could catch a trade at some level here, be it the previous day high or the overnight low. I just need to wait for them to come into play. Oh, my bad if I blew out your eardrums with the bang of the microphone. If we can... So the thing about this here is to try and short the previous day high again would be very interesting because the way it cut through here, it may just get to it and cut through it again, right? It seems like it might not be as reactive as I would have anticipated it to be. It is a support and a resistance here, right? This previous day high was basically the high of, opening range, and then that was it. We rotated low, and then we never quite made it there to end the day. Above that, 46. I mean, really, it was a downtrend. Maybe Delta will help us some. So we'll just kind of stick to here. The previous day high there at 31.75.32. Just going to watch Delta, see if we can get any sort of reaction around the Delta, around that area. And if I mention it again, if you're in YouTube, head over to that link, create a free tradecaster.com account. Head over to my room. We have tons of really good traders. We have, if you don't, want to go searching YouTube for new traders to watch and see what, you can find out. YouTube's sometimes a black hole of content. You come over to Tradecaster, it's all trading all the time. You can find any room you want all day. There's somebody out here doing something that could help benefit your trading, be it me, be it Deck, be it AK, yeah, buddy, anybody out here, Mo Trades, anybody. You can come into these rooms and just bounce around, learn options, stocks, shorts, longs only. I mean, everything that you could want to do, small caps, large cap, futures with me. You got, anybody, some of these other rooms are doing everything. So just, it's a really good community. So come on in, join the fun, free account. After 7 days, you just lose access to some of the paid rooms and some of the education stuff, but no harm, no foul there. I know Carlos is in YouTube right now, but I know he's been in the Tradecaster, so sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I cannot confirm or deny if I'm going to be trying out for the Law Dogs. That's been the rumor on the rumor mill. We'll see what happens. It's been hot stove. Heard the Law Dogs need some Otani type players, and I can definitely add some value. It's just coming out of retirement. It's going to take a lot of convincing. It's going to take contract offers and negotiations and whatnot. So we'll see what happens, Sully. We'll see what happens. I knew you're going to just come at me from all fronts. Tom Brady did do it. I appreciate that. I am, I'd say I'm better at Tom Brady than trading because, FTX rolled and he came out, maybe he came out unscathed from that FTX fiasco. We'll see. I mean, you're playing on Sunday nights. Difficult when I work Sunday nights exactly that day. It's not my easiest day to get off. Maybe if we start with a catch, maybe in some BP, and we'll see what happens. Went to one White Sox game, and now all I get is White Sox emails. I can't even get rid of them. They're terrible, terrible. It's good having all 40 of you in here, and 39 actually at the moment, but bouncing back and forth. YouTube always growing. Yeah, I got you. That's a good idea there, Carlos. I'm guessing you guys aren't going to the World Police and Fire Games this next week. Definitely doing Chicago, though, right? So Delta's flattening out here. You can see it right here. Delta flattening out, not playing along with this trying to break through. If I can get above this previous day high, potentially could look to get this thing to fail that. Sweet. Definitely cool. Things are just not getting into our levels. Be a lot cooler if we did. Let's see. It just so happens that was the first GIF, and it also is at Wrigley where I played my last game. So potentially a sign. For now. See what happens in the next few weeks here. Maybe we get a Tuesday this week. All right, what time do you get off work? Do you guys plan on practicing before your tryouts, or are you just gonna just run tryouts? Ray is gonna chime in now. Oh, he's gonna get me involved in baseball again. This is gonna be a problem. You got to come over from Louisiana to come play. It won't hurt. It could hurt. I got to get back into baseball shape. Well, it's not like you don't drive over from Louisiana to begin with. Couple of ringers here. You have 2 games this week? Tomorrow? Thursday. So you're going to come. What time does the tournament start? Does it start on Thursday, or does it start on Friday or Saturday? Whatever. Oh, okay. It'd be nice if you had Tuesday, Wednesday games. That'd be fantastic. Then you really could convince me. I don't have to take off.
Ray could give you Ray could give Sully a little insight into my playing. Thursday night 5:20 is your first game. Where is it at? Do you know where in the Houston area? Is it down here or is it up on the north side? Man, you guys, you HBD guys, playing crappy here. Once a week schedules. New York's what we play. We played 80 something games that year. 80 something games, of course, across two leagues, and we played almost every single day. It felt like I was taking off so much. 10 innings. That was a good day, and that was in Chicago too. I want this to get over this previous day high. Get over this previous day high. I have that banner. I think it's in my parents' house. The one that from that tournament. You don't need 35,000. You just need days off. Definitely don't need to play 80 games though as fucking adults. Tomball. Is that's where the whole tournament's going to be, Ray? It's only going to be about an hour to get here. If you stay in Tomball, you get the tournament Thursday night, 5:20. You have no car to pull down here for that day? What time is the game tomorrow? Oh, okay, cool. If you want to come for the Open on Friday, you'd have to leave pretty early because there's gonna be traffic um, around from the north side down to us. Alrighty. There's the breakdown. 7:15 tomorrow. We'll see what I can manage. Maybe I'll bring the kids to the game tomorrow. I'll have them have some fun watching. Oh, we got about 25 minutes left in the stream. I appreciate everybody coming by. I don't see much opportunity left for me. Like I said, I want to be up over that previous day high to fade it, and I want to be down below the overnight low to fade it. So this area, so if we could pop above here and come back down, then I could take that and short it. If we get down below here before 11, then I can come back down, watch for the failed breakdown, and then a pop. Overall, I don't really have much else on that. It does look nice. It's trying to push up right here. Delta, you can see how deep we got in Delta for selling. Aggressive sellers trying to step in. Didn't quite get the full sell-off. So the break of the previous day high might lead to a good pop if Delta can follow through. If not, we do have a good divergence there where you can see the price is pushing down. Price is pushing up. Delta is not quite following through. But if you can get through that previous day high, last time when you flushed it, it flushed with no problem. So a break above it here Probably want to wait till it comes back down and fails this candle that we just saw, right? Because that push up there is kind of convincing of a long, but you see Delta not playing along. So that is interesting for us to maybe take a quick hit on this. Quick short through this level, through 20. $73% long on the tilt, getting people interested in that. There's the Delta divert. I like that. I like it a lot. Alrighty, let's see if we can get this to fail. Get it to fail here. NVIDIA pushed right up into resistance, could give a bit of selling. This could give us some selling here. So I'm going to wait to see if this will flush us. Like I said, Delta is negative compared to price pushing up. So you can see that good divergence here at a key level at the previous day high. Didn't get a really great pop through here. So that could lead us to, like, there's not a lot of follow through on this right now. I would definitely be hopeful that this thing can crack down here. If I can get through it, then I'm going to look to see if I can secure the $200 that I need to pass this one and then see if how far I could take it down for the rest of the other accounts that are following. So let's see what happens with it. I am short. I would need to get it down to about here, 16s, to get past on this account. So we are short. Let's see if the bottom falls out of this below 20. If we can get through 20, I'm going to pop my stop right at 20. Come on down now. I would like it to fail quickly. Get through 20. If we can get through 20, we should be good. So we're at even now. It's a free trade. Let's see if we can get this down to 20. If we can get through 20, then we should be safe to secure that. But it looks like it's just dancing around this 20 level. It could pop off of here. So just be careful. I am at break even, right? So just, it's a free trade for me. It doesn't matter where it does at this point. Bounce right off that support, bounce right off the support, and we're out flat. So I took that to break even quicker than I would normally like to, but realistically, the price didn't follow through as quickly as I wanted it to. Still up 323 on the accounts. Ready. That was really just trying to get a cheap short. I really wanted to try and catch it at the previous day high. I could like to get it down through. If we flush 20, should give us a bit more. There is that push, 20. I don't want to force it down here. That I don't want to chase it. I like that short from there. So we should have been fine. We should have been able to manage it a little bit better, but we got wicked out, and that would have been that pass right there. You see that little pop down? So just wanted it to get to that previous day high. We got there. Maybe we'll get one more test of it, and then we'll be able to fail. But you can see the Delta really wanted to sell. The Delta really wanted to sell there. Didn't quite follow through on the pop. Maybe we get back up to that previous day high. We can get one more attempt at a short if the Delta doesn't follow through before we get to shut it down for the day, lock ourselves out. This is a pretty firm level right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the short. Well done, Charlie. You're still in? Do you trail? What are you doing? I think it still can get deeper, honestly. I mean, like I said, I want it down all the way to the overnight lows. So, all right, good. I'm glad you're out. Take money and run. See money, take money on this market, especially June markets. I could have set that profit target there and let it go, but I did not. I just kind of am a little tighter, looking to manage this just enough to get these passed. And once we start back into all these funded accounts, then we'll be able to let them ride out a bit. There's the push. There's the push, and now it's heavy. You see, this is where I want to short that. There's a reason why, and there it goes. Seen it really, really good. I just tightened it up based on it being a free trade right at that support line there. Get rid of that. I want to see it. Maybe it'll go back up to that previous day high again, and we can get one more opportunity at it. The ability for it to fail that high a second time give us that added confidence to get that thing short even further. There's the value area low holding, and it just flipped. So value area low just flipped to this bottom here. So be cautious on that. Let's see if the point of control will flip. It's got a little bit of ways to go before it will. Well done, Charlie. That 20 level held nicely. That was just a little bit of just being a little tight on that one. I think even if we left that over that high, we probably would have been just fine. I want this back up to previous day highs again. Try and fade it one more time. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back, and then we will finish off the stream in the last 15 minutes. Back in action here for the last 15 minutes of the session. 20 level holding again. Still heavy on the delta. No pop in the delta. Price trying to push up. Delta still on the lows. I want this thing to get up one more time. If you can get it up to this previous day high, you know, we have this volume node here at 15. This should give us, it's probably going to get heavy before. We're not going to be able to get up that high again, I don't think. Get up there. This is a really nice short move to be able to secure from that 30 down to 15. That's 15 points. Quick 15 points. Easy. Let's see if we can get it again. This time we'll let the trade do its thing. Although I don't know if we're going to actually get it. I think there's a chance that it just fizzles around this 20 level. And if we get up over 32, then potentially watch it up to 58 into VWAP. Failing the 20s. This was the move to take, and then you probably have that as the rotation. I don't know if you're going to get more opportunity to take it again. That crack there. This is where that break was, right? Like I said, I'm not looking to force anything in order to just pass, right? I wanted this to be a good trade, but I'm also not trying to give back anything on the day when I'm up 320, right? I'm looking to execute appropriately. Maybe I was just a little bit too tight on that. I went just past break even instead of at break even, which would have easily got us down to this level. Overall, like I said, it's still something that it's just a little bit off from the normal strategy, right? I'm looking for a continuation to the downside here. Nvidia is now starting to sell off. If you do crack 88, maybe we start to rotate down. We can maybe get to the overnight lows before 11 o'clock. And that's a nice little short from there to down, right? That's a really good move to short that there down to this and down into here. The close, and then through the close down to overnight low, right? Just going with the downtrend, holding below VWAP. I don't know if you're going to get a break or a bounce from this low. You're getting a little bit of delta now, trying to be a bit more aggressive than the sellers, but you can see how aggressive the selling has been even since I mentioned, hey, Delta's flattening out here, right? We had a big push, and I said, Delta's flattening out. Let's watch this. This could be a time where it's going to start to turn. You start to get the sell-off, bit of a sell-off, and I wanted that pop into that previous day high, which we talked about, right? That's what I took that short and got stopped at break-even, which happens. And then you got this just nonstop heavy delta, right? Heavy delta, heavy delta, heavy delta. Aggressive sellers pushing in, pushing in, pushing in. Now, price didn't quite make a new low, and now the aggressive buyers are starting to step back in at the previous day close. So they want to start continuing to push this high side because you're failing to break down from the previous day close. So the next touch of this previous day high might be a dangerous short unless it gets up into here and then fails it. If this continues down now and the aggressive sellers continue to break through this previous day close, I think down into that overnight low is possible. There's a chance that this 30-minute candle holds at 588 as well, though. That's the bullishness still staying in play. 588 is that line in the sand that I mentioned. That's what I showed over here. That level there, those charts. Why does it do that to me? You can see that level there. I mentioned it over and over and over again. That's the kind of the line in the sand. I did say that 32 is important as well. I'm not convinced that if it gets above this previous day high again, that it's going to be able to be a short. So, I could. The bullishness to me, I mean, if this 30-minute candle closes up over the previous 30-minute candle above that 20 level, then this does potentially look to want to push up further. And then that 32 becomes a bullish, like a buy side point of interest more so than a sell side point of interest. If we close somewhere around here, it makes a little bit more sense that maybe we try and push down below 588 again, or if we close below 588, then the rotation down to the lows does make sense as well. So there's a lot of different scenarios that you got to kind of keep in your mind. And like I said, it is that summer month trading. So it's not a normal summer month trading in the fact that we don't, we have new rules these years as opposed to back in the day when it was sell in May and go away. With the advent of the digital trading world, people trade everywhere, on vacation, off vacation, wherever they are, they trade. So there's still going to be the volatility that you need. It just might be muted at whatever time of day that it happens. So, and then power hour may include some more movement. So just wait, watch, see what happens here at 88. I'm getting tempted for that 88 short, but at the same time, I'm not looking to do it at the moment. I did like that short from where we took it. It was just maybe one candle too quick on my trail. We got triggered in here and stopped out right just prior to that. If we could have waited for this maybe one more minute to close, then we would have been just fine here at 20. I was waiting for 20 to kind of crack and go, but 20 didn't want to go quick enough. But that's a nice little trade there from that level. 30 down to closed at 92-ish. A little $750 per contract. Look at the delta again. Price trying to pop, delta still being heavy. Aggressive sellers still in control right here, right now. So this isn't necessarily a good idea to be long right quite yet. If you are looking to go long purely based on this bounce and the acceptance into the value area. However, with delta continually pushing down, that might be something that you want to watch. It could pop and then delta just follows. That'd be nice if you're looking for the long there. Russell is finding a bit of a bottom, and the S&Ps is also curling up. So price is pushing up. Let's see what happens. If we get through 20s, then this could be strong. There's delta now catching up. You see delta catching up? All right, delta, yeah. Failure of the 20 level. Trying to think of this. All right. This is great. That's a really nice sell point there. 20s every time. Sideways price action, heavier delta. Sells are in control. Be cautious. Below 600 selling, above 600 buying. Could just get chopped around here. We got another 5 minutes left in this stream, so I'm not going to look to hammer in anything. I'm going to go ahead and lock myself out. Being up 323 on the day, I'll lock myself out. Yes, lock me out. So I no longer can execute any more trades on the day. I'm cool with walking away with being $150 away from passing the combine. We were just shy of 500, so we're in there. We're not going to take any more trades the rest of the day. The stream was good. We took the trades that we wanted to trade. We didn't overtrade. We could have passed on this one, and I just got stopped at break even. That shit happens. No worries. Kind of just, this is anticipate, based on the way this price action works, clearly looks like it's going to be a short. I waited for my level, got it, just pulled the stop a little quick. Overall, like I said, very good, just disciplined day for a Monday. I'm not trying to overdo it on a Monday. Tomorrow we'll come back here. We'll get some more ability to take a new trade, get involved, pass an account, and then work on maximizing all these. Get 5 of these at one time. Now that Top Step allows 5 XFAs at once, we will really start to leverage our funding, and I'm going to show you how we can do that. So if anybody's got any questions, comments, concerns before we sign off here today, I would love to hear it. If not, if you're on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I think there's some sort of rating system in TradeCaster. I have no idea how to do it. I've only streamed. I've never watched. I think it's when you sign off the video. Maybe it gives you the opportunity to throw some stars out there. If you made some money on the day, if you understood the levels, if you stayed out of the market because of what we said, give us a good rating. Try my best to be out here every day doing what I can. Win, lose, draw, break even, no trades, 30 trades, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to be transparent about it. I'm going to try my best to get you guys the best amount of value for your money and just kind of give you what I'm looking at all times, right? So until tomorrow, 8:30 Central, that's what I'll be here. I mentioned this week I'll be on tomorrow full day, 8:30 to 11. On Wednesday, I have rifle training. I will be out. I have it at 11, so I'll be off chart, probably closer to 10, so I can get over there and be ready to get everything set up. So Wednesday will be a slightly shorter stream, but hopefully it'll be like today where we made our money early enough where we could get off and be done anyway. So overall, like I said, this trade here was the good short call of the day, right? We had a lot of reasonings behind it. We had a lot of confidence behind it. This is where we made our money, right? We took one quick loss, made it up, and then some. Went red to green. Now we're up three and change on this. We were very patient with all this choppy mess. I talked about the short through the 54 level here. I didn't take it because that's not part of my strategy, but below VWAP, key level, rotating into a previous day high. It's going to be a magnet, obviously. And then I was talking about the short here at the previous day high, but it never came back to give me an entry. So there's a couple good shorts in there for you, whoever was following along. So that was excellent, talking about those levels there for you guys. And then I was waiting for this to rotate back into the previous day high. We caught that short, and then I got stopped at break even because clearly, obviously, this is a choppy range-bound mess here as well. So I went ahead and I locked myself out. So we are no longer trading. We copy traded 323 across 5 accounts. So you do the math there. If we do that on a day-to-day basis with 500 accounts, that can give you a decent return without having to do over trading and create crazy stuff. And as you can see, Deck dropping dimes, over $1,300 in trading profits today. All he does is make money and do the right thing, and he can tell you if you want to trade stocks, that's your guy. If you were looking to short, that's your guy. If you want to trade like Deck, I do have an offer for you here with Lightspeed. Lightspeed and Day Trading Coffee Company have partnered up, and I am very happy to announce that I'm able to provide this value to you guys. Before I sign off, Day Trading Coffee Co. and Lightspeed, one of the best brokers around, great for shorts, great for locates, fee system, everything is great. And now through our partnership with them, if you use code coffee, you could open an account with $5,000 instead of 10 as the minimum. Take your time with it, grow the account, understand what you want to do. If you don't want to open up an account right now, do me a favor, just click through the link. I'm trying to develop a good partnership with them. I don't really care so much about the affiliation stuff or whatever, but I want to be able to, with the coffee company, provide that cash account when we do have our funding fund built up. And Lightspeed's the broker that I want to do it with. So to prove partnership, to prove concept, they have to see that I can send clicks through their website. So if you could do me a favor, click the link if you're into it. If you're not, if you're not, just click it anyway and then click off. It'll help me prove to them that I can drive people to their website, drive people to their brokerage, and that you can eventually, make money that way. And we're looking to, like I said, be able to provide that account through them, and I want to be a longer term partner with them. So really don't care about anything but providing you guys with the best possible tools to do your job as a trader. Top Step is my A+ funding company. I'll recommend them any day of the week. I verified payouts. They do the right thing by their traders. They constantly try to improve their system. They built their own platform. Everything about it is very transparent. So kudos on Top Step, trying to partner with them if I can, when I start the funding fund as well, to push people into some futures. Lightspeed, top of the line brokerage, in my opinion, one of the best. When I traded professionally with T3, that's the broker that I used. I used that, and I used their little sister Sterling LST is who they used as well. They own them, I believe. So I've used both of those, and fantastic platforms. So just proving concept, allowing them the opportunity to support what we support and drive traffic through both of our companies, and then also provide value to the traders who will benefit from it. Also, like I said, the link's already in there. Day Trading Coffee Co. 10% of all of future profits as we start to build as a company when we are profitable. We will be donating a portion of that 10%. I'm gauging it to be around. Will go into the funding fund. The more coffee we sell, the bigger giveaways we could do as far as cash accounts and combines moving forward. So as we hit certain milestones, I am going to start doing more and more giveaways, especially in TradeCaster. I think starting in June 17th, we are having the biggest boot camp ever. Supposedly, it's up there. So Deck has been announcing it. He's looking to give that out. So we're all going to get 3 days to teach our strategy from beginning to end. So the days that I have, I'm going to be drawing up a full-blown course for you guys to understand what I'm looking at on a day-to-day basis, how my week is drawn up, a good understanding of what futures are, why I trade futures over other things, how I started, and then kind of developing into a more well-rounded trader who can kind of just on a day-to-day basis be confident in executing around their own strategy, and how to develop your own strategy by taking pieces of everybody else's. So if you go through that boot camp, you take a little piece from Buddy, you take a little piece from Deck, you take a little piece from AK, you take a little piece from me, and build your own strategy. Find what works for you, what resonates with you, and then you can go a long way. So like I said, locked myself out, up 323 on the day. Really came down to one good trade, and then we had a break even there. So until tomorrow, I will see you guys all 8:30 a.m. Trade smart the rest of the day, and I'll see you then. Peace out.